Hi everyone, Emily here from Emily Reads, and yes, I'm filming yet another video today. The reason being is I'm reorganizing my books, making way for what I plan on reading. I have a bookshelf that I use for here's what I'm planning on reading for the year based on the reading challenges that I'm choosing to participate in. So I just filmed my video for the 52 book club reading challenge. So I took all of my books off that I read in 2023. They're now all piled in all these piles in my living room floor. And all of the books that I plan on reading next year are on my TBR bookshelf. And then as I read them, I sort them through by month. So I figured this would be another great time to film my top 10 and one. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah, I have 10. And then one honorable mention of my favorite books. I am not doing my biggest disappointments only because if I didn't like it, I purged it and I put it in my Panko shop. I do have a Panko shop. I did take it down just for the holiday weekend simply because I don't have a way to print shipping labels right now. So that should be back up. I put it on vacation for right now. It should be back up after winter break is over. So and I didn't really feel like talking about the disappointments. So I'm going to focus on the things that I enjoyed. So so I do have 10. It's quite the variety. And here we go. So here is my honorable mention, and that is The Blade Itself by Joy Abercrombie. This is my first Abercrombie book. I need to read more in this world. The reason why I enjoyed it, I thought it was kind of slow at times. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to sneeze in a minute here. Excuse me. This is unedited, so I apologize. So this, I thought it was a little slow, but I loved Glokta. Like, here's the thing. I compare Glokta to Eeyore, and Logan Nine Fingers I feel is kind of like Tigger, and I think it's Baez who's like the priest character. Like he is our owl character. So I started here's what, so this is why it's an honorable mention. I'm like, it's like it's like Winnie the Pooh, except it's, oh no, JL was Tigger. No, I don't know. It's like Winnie the Pooh, except it's like torturers and bad people doing bad things. So that's why I had to give it an honorable mention, because just when like the different characters, I was like, oh, this, I could see like this being this person and this being this person. So like I said, I do need to read more. I did enjoy it, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. It was good. It was on the cusp of fantastic for me. Um, so the rest are for sure in my top 10. One, I'm banking on being in the top 10. I have 150 pages left to go in the book, but I have a feeling it's going to be the top 10. So I wanted to film this so that way I can, like I said, I need to finish putting books away. So this is in no particular order. It just is how they stacked up in a pile. Okay. So first is Warrior Girl Unearthed by Angeline Boulley. And this is book 2 in her that she wrote. It's a young adult contemporary. It's set on an Ojibwe, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, reservation in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And it does have some crossover characters from Firekeeper's Daughter, but you don't have to read Firekeeper's Daughter first to read and understand this book. There were times where I felt like it did a little too much and had a little too much like threads that it was following as far as like the thriller plot lines. But here's what I really appreciated about this book. So when I was in high school, I really wanted to be an archaeologist. And I was fascinated. I loved going, I'm from the suburbs of Chicago. I loved going to the museum, the Field Museum, and visiting the Egyptology exhibit and the Native American exhibit. And I love seeing it um, every time I go there. And so, what I appreciate about this book is it just really made me think about how do museums acquire what they have on display for exhibits, and what is that doing for Native cultures. So um, that's why I just really appreciated it. It really made me think about, you know, issues that Native Americans face. The next book is the book that I'm still reading. I still have 150 pages to go, and that is The Girl on the Tower, and I am so loving this book. I loved Bear the Nightingale, but I'm liking this better. I love Vasya. I find her relationship with Morozka interesting and intriguing. I want to know more. There is tension in this book. It continues to develop the themes of the tension between um, the native folklore and religion and what happens when Christianity comes in, and also what is a female's role in society and what happens when they go against that traditional role. So I'm banking on that this is going to finish strong for me. I have 150 pages left to go. I'm hoping to finish it this weekend. I thought I was going to finish it today, and then I decided to reorganize all my books. So the next book is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah, which I read. I don't normally read memoirs or nonfiction, but I heard good things about this and saw this used at my library book sale, so I grabbed it. And it was absolutely hysterical. And yet it also, I think, was a very important look at what it was like to grow up in South Africa, both during apartheid and then after apartheid was dismantled, and like how they were navigating new ways of doing things, and also just, I mean, he was a crime. He was mixed race person, and that was considered a crime in South Africa when he was born. And it also was just a testimony to his mother and who his mother is. His mother is a fierce woman. And so I just really enjoyed this book. Next is Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. This is my first time reading it. Good gravy. It's tabbed. I think like green, like pink is just stuff that's like important to the world. Green is like things that are significant. Blue is stuff that I think is funny. That's kind of where my tabs were. I liked how we developed some more characters. Really appreciated the character development of Shallan. Kaladin, Dalinar, still love them. This book has one of the best duels ever that I've ever read in whatever book that I've read. And also there's just some really funny moments. I can't really say too much about what those funny moments were without it being spoilery, but if you know when I say boots. Like, the whole scene was so freaking hilarious. Boots. Friggin' hilarious. The next book that I really enjoyed was The Wild Robot by Peter Brown, and this is a middle grade book, guys. This had me like tearing up at the end. I was tearing up. And this is just a story of a robot that ends up crash landing on a deserted island. I don't know if it was a ship or a plane. I can't remember, but So the robot is on this island and it's just deserted, and having to figure out how to fit in, and the animals are afraid of it. And then it ends up adopting a gosling, and the relationship that the robot builds with that gosling is just beautiful. And the relationship that it builds with all of the creatures on the island is beautiful. And I'm looking forward to reading book 2 in this series. The next 2 books are kind of my hot take books. These books did not work for some people. They worked really well for me. I just had a good time with them. so book number 1 is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Yes, I said it. Was this like great literature? No, this is not great literature. I looked at it as like what gave me a good time in 2023, and this gave me a great time. I so enjoyed this book. It to me book, and I also enjoyed Iron Flame, but I liked this one a little bit better than Iron Flame. Book 1 reminded me a whole lot of Divergent, and with the writers being the Dauntless group. Book 2 reminded me a whole lot of Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. And I loved that take, and like I said, it was just a good time, and I'm so looking forward to book 3. The next one is I loved Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Look, I know a lot of people complain that her romances seem to be very similar, and it's kind of like the same, it's just a slight different twist on the same theme. I kind of sort of see that criticism, but here's why this one really worked for me. Our main character, I don't remember her name. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. So, Elsie, she is an adjunct professor, and she's trying to get like a full professorship, I believe. And so she's really like trying to do that. And here's why this one worked for me. I have a friend who is a college professor of political science, and I myself am a high school special education teacher, and there are emails that our main character gets from parents and from students. And every time I read the emails, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so what my friend's experience is. Like, she would tell me about some of these emails that she would get, and I'm like, yep, she's gotten those emails. And I've even gotten some of those emails from parents and students. And so that's why I so enjoyed this book, because I'm like, yep, it just hits home for me. Like some of the things that happen in this book is very, very true to life. The next book is Jade City. And honestly, I almost debated putting Jade Legacy on here. And the reason why Jade Legacy just didn't make it and Jade City edged it out was, although I loved, with Jade Legacy, I am more tied to the characters and some of the things that happen. And there's some character developments in Jade Legacy that I really appreciated, that we don't have as much in Jade City. But sometimes the time lapses just, it was a little bit hard for me to get used to. So that's why Jade Legacy got edged out by Jade City. And also, I sometimes have a hard time tracking, like, Jade War and Jade Legacy really is this very complex chess game of back and forth between Mountain Clan and the Pillar Clan. And sometimes I had a hard time tracking and like understanding, like, oh yeah, that's the implications of things. But I tell people, if you like, so I've told people about the Greenhorn Saga, and I'm like, if you like mafia books, you like Jade City. If you like martial arts films, you'll like Jade City. I don't like either of those. I like Jade City because it has great characters. man, the characters in the No Peak clan, Hilo, Shay, Wen, and I just grew to love these characters. Um, and the relationships that they have with each other. And just, I love that they are not perfect. They're not perfect main characters. They don't make perfect decisions. They make decisions and then they have to live with those consequences, whether they're good or bad. And we get bad consequences and they have to live with them. And that's why I appreciate it. But at the end, they're family and they're going to love each other. Yeah, I can't wait. I did buy the novellas that go along with this world. I have them on ebook because hardcover is just like it's just too expensive. So do plan on reading those at some point in time. And then the next two books are pretty similar, kind of in theme and how the plot develops. So first is The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. And this is kind of a shop around the corner or you've got mail retelling, except it is set in a fantasy world where like zombies have come back to take over the world. And Hart, he is our main male character. He is a marshal, and it's his job to kind of patrol the land and protect the people from those zombie creatures. And Mercy Birdsall, she is our female protagonist, and she is an undertaker. She and so Hart will bring like dead bodies to Mercy to prepare for burial. And I just so enjoyed this book. It was such a fresh take on You've Got Mail, and I love You've Got Mail. And lastly is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is my first book that I've read by Rebecca Ross. It will not be my last. This is a YA book, the first in a duology. I'm so looking forward to Ruthless Vows. And this again is similar to You've Got Mail and Shop Around the Corner, where our main characters, so Iris Winnow, she is a reporter at a newspaper, and she's really trying hard to get a job and get a promotion at the Oath Gazette, and her rival Roman Kit is also working there, and he's also vying for this position. And she has this typewriter, and her brother is on the front of a war, like the gods are at war with each other and he's at war. And so she starts writing letters to her brother and slides them under the wardrobe, and she starts getting responses, and she thinks that she is getting responses from her brother. But really it's Roman who's responding to her. She's not aware of that. And that's not spoilery because it's all on the front flap. And the prose is just beautiful. The letters are, the prose in the letters are absolutely beautiful. There's so much tension. They end up going to the front. Here's another thing that I just really appreciated about this book. Some people will say, oh, this is set in World War II. It is not. This is World War I. So we have trench warfare, and there is like a poison gas that the enemy uses. That's World War I warfare. And that's another reason why I appreciated this book. There's a whole lot of World War II historical books out there, but we don't get a whole lot of World War I. And that's why I appreciated this book. It was just a different take on war. So it was like, You've Got Mail, World War I, and war with the gods. So I'm so looking forward to Ruthless Vows. It comes out later this month, actually in like 3 days. And I'm like, I'm at the point of like, Do I order it from Book of the Month because it's their add-on? Do I wait until next month? Or do I buy it this month and read it? I don't know what to do. Because like if I got it from Book of the Month, then it would match. But do I want to wait? I don't know. I don't know yet. So that is my top 10. What's it was in your top 10? What did you read this year that you really enjoyed? Happy reading and happy holidays. Bye.